Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel KS Anupama, and today we are learning about everything I need to know I learned in the forest. Like this chapter is really important like when you're doing objective questions, as most of the questions like which turn and twist or come from this chapter. So for that reason you need to pay attention to every single thing that you come across this chapter, but it doesn't mean that you have to cram, because even if you cram you can't remember most of the details. So that's why when I'm gonna study all of this, I need to pay attention on certain points, so that certain points will be cleared out in this video. So as I will explain how we have to remember these all, and I will also tell you how to write answers, which is the main thing that you need to pay attention on. So you can modify it on your style, but still I will give you the basic structural idea. So let's start with the video. As these all you know already, as I cleared this out in the last video. So this is all of introduction, as Vandana Shiva shares that her ecological journey, like her, in basic words you can say that the journey like of her being enlightened by the trees, and also like everything like forest, why we need to conserve them, and also the beauty of the nature, everything she got to learn about all of this in the forest of Himalayas. Okay, so as you know, her father was a forest conservator and her mother was a farmer after fleeing the tragic partition of India and Pakistan. So after this, like she got to learn more about the ecology from the Himalayan forest. So I will not read every single thing. So this side, as you can see, this is my textbook by the way. So I highlighted most of the points. So as she also mentioned, like she was involved in a contemporary ecology movement, which is Chipko. Chipko, you guys have learned in your previous classes, like maybe fifth or sixth, like Chipko movement. The woman hug the trees as for the sake to protect them, and it's a really good strategy followed by that like woman at that time to conserve the trees. So this thing, as in this moment, is what mentioned in this chapter. So Chipko movement is basically, you guys already know, the women hug the trees, as the loggers who came to cut the trees, they have to first kill the woman who is hugging the trees. It's not only about women, it's also about the people who are trying to save the trees, save the forest. So after that, in the 1970s, a peasant woman, as this thing, see this particular thing, the peasant woman, like the 1970s thing, this is asked in your MCQs. Okay, this can be asked in your MCQs, like who was the present woman from the Grahaval Himalaya who came out in the defense of forest. Like see, it's not about a woman. See, most of the people like students become confused in woman and also woman. See, this is plural, okay? This one is single. But here we are talking about woman, okay? The peasant woman. So there are many females out there, okay? So at that time in 1970s, the woman, okay, from the region which is Grahaval Himalaya, as they came out of the defense, okay, for the forest. So logging, as I already told you, the deforestation was happening, like the people were cutting the trees for their own personal gains, and women, as they have to get the basic necessities right for the maintenance of their life. So for that they need to walk so many miles to get the basic necessities like from the forest. So that's the reason why they like were against this logging. And also it is not only the only reason they were against this logging. Another reason was like they knew the value of the forest, okay, and it was not the timber from the dead tree, but it was springs and streams and also the food for the cattle. See, these are all the necessities that like this was absolutely needed for them every single day, like the cattle for that like food for their cattle and also fuel for their hearts. Everything is like they needed it every single time, and for that they need to go to the forest. So for that it meant like a longer walk and also using a lot of time just to get the basic necessities. So after that, as you can see, a folk song of that period, it said, is the beautiful ox and red Indians. They give us cool water. Please don't cut, leases are there, so don't cut these trees. We have to keep them alive. So this is a folk song that in that period it was used. As after that, in 1973, I had gone to visit my favorite forest. As you can see, like the Vandana Shiva had gone to visit her favorite like forest at that time, like because she was leaving to Canada for her PhD. And then she noticed that the trickle, as her favorite stream was now reduced to a trickle, she decided to become a volunteer for the Chipko movement as to reduce this logging and also to save the nature. One of the dramatic Chipko actions that took place in Himalaya village of Advani was in 1977. See, this particular thing, it can be asked in your exam, okay? This one and also this one. These two will be asked in your exam for sure. Okay, so after that, when a village woman named Bachani Devi led resistance against her own husband, like why she led resistance against her own husband? Because he had obtained a contract to cut the trees, which she disagreed, because obviously she needed the basic necessities, and alongside with that, like why would she let her husband be, like, problem for many women? Like, see, it's not only about like the moments and the necessities, it's also about springs and the streams, right? So everything, it will be a burden if her husband be together with the same loggers who had made their life difficult. So why would she accept that fact? So that's the reason why the Bachni Devi rejected, not rejected, but led resistance against her own husband's decision of being one of the part of loggers. So after that, the woman, like they held a lighted lanterns. See, lanterns is what? Basically a lamp, right? A lamp like this, like the woman like held it in their hands, and you may seen it in your, like this. You might have not seen, but still I tried to draw here, so never mind. So this thing you already know, as this is where we need to start. So beyond monocultures, that's from the Chipko movement that Vandana Shiva learned about. Like from the Chipko movement, I already made a short review just now. So from that, Vandana Shiva learned that diversity and biodiversity and biodiversity based living economies. Sorry. So these things she learned about. Okay, if someone asks you in your exam, like what did Vandana Shiva learn from Chipko movement, you can say she learned about biodiversity and biodiversity based living economies. Okay, so see, biodiversity based living economies. See, this part and also this part, many students get bored a bit, because this part is all about history, like of one Navadhanya form and also Navadhanya, the movement of biodiversity. See, one problem is there. Many students like mix up the date of both of these, like the year. If I say Navadhanya form was started in 1994, okay, but the Navadhanya movement, it was started in 1987. So there is a difference between these both. So that's the reason I will tell you. First, remember this: Navadhanya movement was started in 1987. Navadhanya form was started in 1994. Okay, so it was in the Doon Valley. So these things can be asked in MCQs. So remember that. After that, as you can see, the protection of both had become her life mission, as she described in a book. So If someone asks you what was the book written by Vandana Shiva, you can say Monocultures of the Mind. Okay, so the failure to understand the biodiversity, like, see, what is biodiversity? Diversity, bio, and then diversity, it's made up of two words, right? So bio means what? Bio means living. Okay, diversity means what? Like different groups, you can say. So in simple words, if I told you, like, the diversity means the separation of, like, groups. So that thing in living organisms, for example, see, we are humans, some are animals, some are birds. See, these are all different things, right? But still, these all together are one nature, right? So the same thing which you are talking about in here. Okay, so as I will tell you, so it's the failure to understand the biodiversity and its many functions is a root of impoverishment of nature and culture. Why? Because see, biodiversity means what? Like, if we understood that every single human being, like from the trees, humans, birds, and every single thing, like, are meant to be together and not fight among themselves, and not one is supreme, not another one is inferior. If we had known that, this particular logging and everything should not have started. So that's the reason, like, that is the main reason that this deforestation, everything, like all the problems that are arising. So that's the reason the Vandana Shiv had given in this particular chapter. Okay, so the failure to understand this biodiversity and also the functions, like each particular individual have its own functions, but still if we ignore that fact and then just focus on ourselves as we are the supreme and everything, all that thing, then obviously that understanding goes away, right? So that's the reason for the impoverishment of nature and the culture. Okay, the lessons that she learned about diversity in Himalayan forest, I transferred to the protection of the biodiversity in our farms. See, the lessons, like how to save, how to conserve, and everything that Vandana Shiva have learned, like about the she learned about the biodiversity in the Himalayan forest. So after seeing that, as we know, in the first page only it's written that it was from the Himalayan forest and ecosystem that Vandana Shiva have learned most of what she know about ecology. So as you know, what is ecology? If someone asks you, it's written in here only. Ecology is a study of relationship of organisms with each other and their surroundings. Like, as I already told you, the organisms have to behave well with their surroundings, and also they have to, like, be together with the surroundings, right? So that thing is really important. If anything like misses out and one doesn't understand another, the impoverishment of nature and culture takes place. So as I will continue, we realized we needed a farm for demonstration and training. See, this thing, like, she learned about the forest and everything, like, from sorry, not of forest, but of ecology. The Vandana Shiva learned about the ecology from the Himalayan forest, right? So now she had to demonstrate in the scale of biodiversity, means she wanted to grow the plants, and also, like, not the plants but conserve them. What is the meaning of conserve? Like, basically save the species from extinction, right? So for that first she first needed a training, right? She needed training, and also she need to check whether it will be okay or not, do I do it or not. So first she needed training, right, and also demonstration field. So for that she created Navadanya farm. Okay, so which was started in 1994 in the Doon Valley, located in the lower evolution Himalayan region of Uttarakhand province. This thing, as you can see, this is important. How? And you will like, how to remember this? So there can be 3 or 4 questions which can be asked from this particular paragraph. As I told, I will tell the method. Yes, I will. I don't forget my words. So first thing is, like, I will give you one question. Try to answer it in your own sentence, okay? Which will be an interactive studying. So yes. Why was Navadhanya farm started? Okay, I think that you answer it. If you didn't, I will give you 3 more minutes. Oh, sorry, not minutes. Or the video will be so long. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the conservation, you say good. After that, when was Navadanya form started? Don't look at the page. If you look at the page, it doesn't count. It was started in 1994. Good. So after that, like today, see, today you'll be like, oh, this day we are watching this video. No. Well, this today meant that when the publication of this book came, like for example, everything I need to know I learned from the forest, this thing, like this particular chapter have like been published for the first time. No, at that time, like what, 630 varieties of rice, 150 varieties of wheat, and hundreds of other spices were conserved and also grown. Okay, so that's what she's saying. Okay, now it's really big, like hundreds or thousands of species are now protected in Navadanya farm. So after that, we practice and promote a biodiversity intensive form of farming as a biodiversity intensive form. Like for example, as you know, in particular soil, when you like always grow only one crop, at that time what happens, at that time the like soil will be infertile, right? The crops wouldn't grow, so that thing happens. So to like not do that, like which is really harmful for us, as the nutrition cycle will be a mess obviously. So for that reason, the Vandana Shiva have started like biodiversity intensive farm. So which is like if you cropped a one crop at a one time, at the next time as you remove that crop and then you plant another crop as of different one. Like for example, if I grown something like crop one, if I say, and then when it gives all the things which we have needed, and then we remove all of that and then we crop two. Okay, so like that she's talking about. So this thing has helped to produce more food and nutrition per acre. So if I asked you, like, see, in last PYQs, like this type of question habit came. Okay, in PUC board it doesn't come, but still nowadays, as from 2025, this thing is happening. So that's why I'm trying to prepare you beforehanded. So what is the form of farming, that farming, okay, what is a form of farming that produces more food and nutrition per acre? This can be asked in your MCQ or a measure following, I don't know, but still MCQs more chance is there. Okay, so most of the times MCQs are easy, like directly from the textbook, but still I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so after that, like conservation of biodiversity is therefore also the answer. See, conservation is also really important because biodiversity is what, when you are like together in a particular environment, like in the nature, you have to be together, no, so you have to be adjustable and everything like that. So the conservation of this biodiversity means protecting all the like diversities. So that thing is really important when you're like doing the conservation. Okay, my nose is a bit blocked, so I am so sorry for that. So I think you got the answer. So if we conserve this biodiversity, it can also be the answer for the food and nutrition crisis, and also this will help us to produce more food and more nutrition. Navadanya, the movement for biodiversity conservation and organic farming that started in 1987, is still spreading. So as you see, Navadanya, it was a movement as well. So this thing can be asked in your MCQs. So after this, there's a question like they ask directly sometimes. So here's maybe there. Wait, how did women see? This question is asked. Okay, so so as I told you, why is it important to promote biodiversity intensive farming? How did the author achieve it? See, why is this important? Because see, it is only in one line. See here, it is only in one line, but still it asked in what? In 2 to 3 marks. So that's the reason why I told you. Alright. So after this, so far, okay, here, Navadanya movement was started in 1987. After that, we have worked, means Vandana Shiva and her team have worked with farmers to set up more than 100 committee seed banks. What is seed banks? Like basically all the seeds that you get from the plants, right? So that is being conserved and also preserved in somewhere. Okay, you might have learned this in your biology, like in minus 196 degrees Celsius. So at that temperature it is conserved. So after that, we have saved more than 3000 rice varieties. See, there are many more rice varieties here. And another thing I will tell you, like in the biology it comes again, that is this thing basically like basmati rice. It's been an argument between the Americans and also Indians, as Americans say that this belongs to us, but India says no, it's been our tradition. So you will may learn about this afterwards, so never mind. I just gave you a bit spoiler, you say. So after that, we also help farmers to make transition from fossil fuel and chemical based monocultures to biodiverse ecological systems nourished by sun and soil. See, many farmers use fossil fuel. Fossil fuel means what? Like the fossils. What are the fossils? Like this is basically like in your biology once again, all the dead animals go inside the soil, right? So they become a foil, right? Like they use it for many things. All the petroleum, what you say, it was the fossils of the ferns which were first covered in entire like earth, right? So that thing is all the oil you see now. So that thing which you are talking about, like fossil fuel and then chemical based monocultures, as this thing like to help this thing like is really bad as well. How? Because what is nature, what is the like cropping you say, and also the farming, farmers use fertilizers, farmers use these foils and also the very harmful chemicals to get very large amount of crops and also to earn more. So that thing is really harmful. Because of that, for that reason, the Vandana Shiva and her team like helped the farmers to make a transition. Transition means what? Change the method to more biodiverse and also ecological systems, means economically friendly and also like ecological friendly. Economically friendly means what? Like, but for example, let's cheaper and also effective systems which are nourished by the sun and the soil, and also it is friendly, so no harm to the nature. After that, biodiversity has been my teacher of abundance and freedom. See, abundance and freedom and of cooperation and mutual giving. Biodiversity, it was a teacher of abundance and freedom. As you see, abundance means what? Like basically I will tell you. Okay, it's not given. Okay, it's fine. So biodiversity is the reason why the Vandana Shiva have gotten like everything. Like for example, not only Vandana Shiva, every single one. In more simple way, I will say, biodiversity has been a teacher of abundance and also freedom, of cooperation and mutual giving. Cooperation means what? See, the plants, the animals and everything are together, right? And also the trees gives us fruits and also the plants gives us flowers. So everything like it's like of abundance and also a part of freedom as well, as the all the diversity, like all the diversity you see in the nature, like from the plants to the animals and also the humans, like everything is the reason of, everything is a example of cooperation. Okay, so after that, rights of nature on the global stage, as you see this thing as these two lines, this is not asked in your exam, but still I explained a little, so don't worry of that. The main thing that they will ask is this one and also this one, understood? So after that, this one as well, the book. Okay, so they can also ask you like in the book of monocultures of mind, what did Vandana Shiva discussed about? So this can be asked in your exam. After that, rights of nature on the global stage. This is very boring. I know. So why? Because this is all history. Okay, when you don't like history, it's fine, but still you can go alongside with that, because I will tell you in a story way and also a mnemonic. You say, see, when nature is a teacher, we co-create with her. Like, as you know, the nature is basically really needed, right? We need nature and everything. So we create with a teacher. See, nature is a teacher means what? Like, if nature wasn't there, how the human will evolve, right? Human saw the nature and also tried different things because he was curious, and then he created everything. Now we are here, like you are watching this video and everything, so we co-create with her, as this is the meaning of that. Okay, we recognize her agency and her rights. See, this thing can be studied in your biology as well, like fit and unfit to stay in the environment. Like, if humans aren't that good in like saving themselves, like for example, if I say in normal words, the humans, if they were being eaten by all the animals because they were weak, how the evolution have happened, how this phone and also this book, everything will be there, right? So it's not possible, right? So that is what that writer is trying to, the Vandana Shiva is trying to say here. She's a writer, yes. After that, that is why it is a significance that Ecuador has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution. See, Ecuador have recognized means Ecuador have given rights to nature in its constitution. Why? Because see, if the nature wasn't there, think it logically. If the nature wasn't there, how the human will evolve? It's not possible, right? So that's the reason why the Ecuador have given the rights to nature. Means the nature also have the rights. The nature also have the rights to preserve, as it conserve itself and also like protect itself, right? In April 2011, the United Nations of General Assembly, inspired by the Constitution of Ecuador and the Universal Declaration of Rights of Mother Earth, initiated by Bolivia, organized a conference on harmony with nature as part of Earth Day celebrations. This thing I know you didn't get a line, so I will tell you. So the United Nations of General Assembly, like United Nations, you already know, UN General Assembly, as it inspired the cost. It was being inspired, like the United Nations General Assembly saw that Ecuador gave like the rights to nature. It was inspired, like wow, they gave it that rights to nature. Oh my God! After that, like they were inspired by that, and the Universal Declaration of Rights of Nature of Mother Earth, initiated by Bolivia. Bolivia have initiated that not only Ecuador need to have the rights of nature, but every single one needed it, right? Every single one need to have the rights for the nature. So after that, much more of the discussion was centered on the ways to transform system based on domination over nature, men over women, rich over poor, into new systems based on partnership. What is the meaning? See, this is what the Universal Declaration of Rights of Nature of Mother Earth, initiated by Bolivia. Like she wanted, like the Bolivia is what the Universal Declaration means what, like the Bolivia have seen that the Ecuador have recognized the rights of nature. It declared that why will Ecuador like need to have all the like the rights of nature? Every a single place like in this earth have nature, right? So the rights of Mother Earth is needed. So for that a conference was held, like of harmony with nature, as it was a part of Earth Day celebrations. Why? Because see, when Earth Day comes, you plant trees, right? So you see it in your like books as well, and also in Hindi books there is a chapter, I don't remember really well, but still you see, right? You plant the trees. I wish you do it, okay? After that, much more of the discussion centered on ways to transform systems, as she see more discussions were made, like domination of people over nature. People over nature is what the longest run countries, because they want to make furnitures and also many more things with that particular wood. So that's the reason, like that is really bad. So what is the rights of nature here? The nature is being exploited now. So after that, men over women, as you know, I don't have to explain. So after that, rich over poor, and also new systems of based on the partnership. See, men over women and also the rich over poor, like the dominance you say. So that thing, new system based on the partnership, as these are the systems which are being followed, these need to change. That's what the conference was about. So we discussed the beyond monocultures today. After that, this much of the rights of nature. So after that, in the next class we will learn about from here, like the UN Secretary General report. After that, the Net Earth worldview, and then complete it till here. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next class. Bye bye.